Greetings. This is Lauren of Lauren Learns Korean. I'm in my office right now at work. And today I'm going to share with you books and resources that I use to help me study. Now, some of these I don't necessarily use anymore, but every now and then I'll refer back to them. Or I haven't reached a level to where I can understand some of it yet. So let's get started. I'm sure if any of you all out there are also studying Korean, you've heard of the channel Talk to Me in Korean. So the first couple of resources that I got was this. I would highly recommend this, especially if you're new to learning the language, because it teaches you the alphabet. So it's Become a Hangul Master. So I'm gonna open this up briefly and just show you. So like it shows you all of this, just like the alphabet, and you trace over it and learn how to write it. But the part that I thought was cool was that in the back, it has examples of how Koreans actually write. So you're able to read it, because if you look at Hangul in cursive, a lot of it's a lot different than, just standard. And actually, when I was in class a couple of weeks ago, our teacher wrote something, in Korean on the board, and the way that she wrote it, everyone else in my class couldn't understand what she wrote, and I was able to read it because of this book. So, and then you can also practice writing it the way that they wrote it. So, like, here's like the example, and then you trace it, and then you get to write it twice. And then, like, down here, I tried to write it again. So, I highly recommend this one. I'm being very discreet. So this is the first book in the lesson series for Talk to Me in Korean. This one I haven't finished, only because later on in the book it gets into grammar, and I don't quite have that mastered yet. So I will come back to this once I have a better understanding of the grammar. But I can show you what's in here so far. So this is like the second lesson, and so it has like, where you can write responses to the answers and the vocabulary and things like that. And here's like some notes that I wrote down. And this is before I started taking classes. So a lot of this stuff I was just kind of guessing through. And see, towards the back, there's blank, because I was like, I don't know how to do this. See if I can get it further in the book. This is the workbook to this book. And so in here is where you practice. So actually, this is where I left off in this book, is right here. And yes, I have different colored ink because black and blue is boring. So here you write, which like this, these are like verb translations, what they mean. Then over here you practice, writing it out in sentences. And then comprehension sections, basically like mini quizzes to see if you understand the vocabulary. Actually, let me see if I can find it. There was something in here that I thought was pretty fun. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So here we got to do like a little comic. And so I drew a comic based on what I learned in that lesson. So that was fun. So the last book I have in the Talk to Me in Korean series is this one. I haven't really used this one, only because I haven't really mastered like hearing the differences in the sounds of the vocabulary of the letters. So, and that's basically what this book is for, is to help you be able to differentiate the similar sounds of some of the letters. It comes with an app that you can put on your phone, and it'll have other books listed, and you pick one and then you listen to the audio, and that's how you take the tests and then do the assignments. So in these, and I definitely didn't get anywhere in this book. So here, these two sounds are similar. So it has pictures in terms of like how to control the air, how you form your mouth, your tongue, all that stuff, so you pronounce it correctly. I will come back to this eventually, but like I said, it's hard. Like when you listen to the audio, it sounds like the same, so you're just like, I don't know which letter they're pronouncing. Um, but I think it's necessary, especially like if you plan to interact with Koreans. You have to be able to tell what the different sounds are, so you don't mistake one word for something else when they're talking to you. So to the books that I use in class. So these right here were the first year that I was in the Korea school locally. And we don't use these anymore. These are old. These are like the old books that they said themselves was provided by the Korean government. So this is the workbook. This is the textbook. So, and since this is the beginner book, it's for kids, so it's all cute and stuff. So that's what it looks like on the inside, so you can read it. And typically at the beginning of each lesson, they teach you new vocabulary words. So you see like all the different vocabulary words, and you get to write them out. And then they'll have activities to do. So since this is like the first book, and at the beginning of the book, you practice writing, pronunciation, you learn some words. And in the first year in class, the teacher would quiz us every week. So she would say a word, and we'd have to write it down. And that's where how to speak, or how to sound like a native Korean speaker. That's where this book would have come in handy. Should I be able to like use it? Because sometimes she would say something and I would think it's spelled a certain way, but really it was spelled the other way. So, just getting used to that and putting that book to use, especially now since I'm in the intermediate class and the teacher speaks a lot more Korean than the beginner. This is the book that we are currently using. This is the one from the spring semester into the summer. So this one also comes with a workbook, textbook. So this is the book that we are currently using. This is the one from the spring semester into the summer. So this one also comes with a workbook, textbook, and it's pretty similar to the other one. Honestly, I think I like these better. So this one is pretty similar to the other one, but the assignments are a little different. So there's more assignments like this where you have to fill in the blank to complete the sentence. And then here, like my little doodle. And so there's parts down here where you have to write vocabulary up top. So the format's basically the same, but more writing. The workbook, more assignments. So not only do you write in the textbook, you write in the workbook as well. Let me show you this. My handwriting is very neat, this one. Very neat. And I wrote it in green ink because I'm a gangster. But that's basically this one. So the one that we are currently using is this. Yeah, it looks like the other one, but this says 1.2 versus 1.1. This one also has a workbook, and these also come with CDs. I don't use them just because our CDs are obsolete. This one, since we just started back in August, there isn't much to show. But this is the workbook. So there's some assignments I did. And I'm really having to like figure it out on my own, basically, because the teacher, she expects you to know a lot of this stuff already, and a lot of it I don't, so I've been having to figure it out. So lately we've been doing days of the week, months of the year, numbers, both numbering systems, and some sentence stuff. So here's the last assignment that I did there. And I will show you the textbook. Look at all that stuff I got wrong. And then more writing. More writing. So another thing that I like about these books is that up here, there's a small paragraph, and you have to translate. And then it'll ask you questions here at the bottom, and you answer questions about the paragraph. And I've gotten quite used to them. There's also like listening exercises, but we haven't really done those, so I'm just going to skip those. So as of right now, we're on Unit 4, so there isn't really much to show. I mean, it's just like the other book. It's just the next one up. And last but not least, this. I happened to find this at a half-price books here in town where I live, and because I've been looking for one, well, just because it's good to have a dictionary. The next thing I need to find is like the verb book, because I don't know a lot of the verbs, let alone how to conjugate them. So that is my next mission, is to get a book of verbs. But this one, I found at half-price books in like great condition. I think it was like $12. It just has all the words. So like the first part, I think, is English to Korean, and the back is Korean to English. I haven't put this to much use yet, but I know I'll need it, especially once we really start digging deep into vocabulary. Yeah, for sure I'll need it. So it's always good to have a dictionary. Well, I think that's it, except my notebook. This is my notebook for class, and I've like filled out some vocabulary words. Tried to color code them based on like letter, but you know, it's kind of difficult to do. And I tried to like highlight important words or phrases. And then towards the front, because that was the back of the notebook, the front of the notebook are actually like notes for class that I take. So the last notes I took were these, because that's all I could catch, because she was going really fast. And usually, like, if she writes something down on the whiteboard, I'll just take pictures, because it's just easier that way to refer back to them later. So I'm going to show you. Look at all that. Look at all the books. And there's other books, but they're not books that I used to study. But that'll be for a whole nother video, because I'm already going into this video is getting long territory. But that is all I have for today. I thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya. Peace.